she embraced KJ's words, and brought the whimsy and fun, that wonderful outlook that Amanda had on the world prior to this horrific tragedy, prior to Meredith's death.
Hi, KJ. Hi, Warren. Thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to talk to you both. Love the series and amazing. And I'm going to start with you, KJ. Like putting this on paper, everything that happened to Amanda, how was like for you, like to create this work?
It was an honor. It's always a responsibility when you're writing a true story. But thankfully, I had such a wonderful creative partner in Amanda, and a really, really interesting lens through which to tell the story, which was her action, her extraordinary, unprecedented action of in 2019 reaching out to her former prosecutor, Giuliano Menini, a man who had been scrutinized and villainized by the press in a similar way as Amanda was, flattened into a cardboard character called a monster. And Amanda said in order for her to reclaim her sense of justice and rightness with the world and her sense of freedom, she felt it like she needed to reach out to this man, bridge the divide, and find some common ground with their humanity. And that provided an excellent narrative drive for me.
And, I love it. I also love it that he humanized all the characters in a sense, it's not just throwing like the stories out there. You try to bring their side of the story, their sense. And I love that. Thank you so much for that. And Warren, what was about Grace that made her perfect to play Amanda Knox?
Well, we looked at Grace's work, and we were really intrigued with what she could do dramatically. Also, Grace's sense of humor. And when KJ and I sat down over at KJ's office and we met with Grace, she had this connection that she had made to Amanda's story. And literally as that was unfolding, she was like, this is something I would love to do and so years later, she's there sitting on the couch and we're talking to her, and then we took a leap. There's no guarantee. You don't know. But wow, Grace really, really delivered in wonderful dimensional ways. She embraced KJ's words, and brought the whimsy and fun, that wonderful outlook that Amanda had on the world prior to this horrific tragedy, prior to Meredith's death. And she could capture that, the offbeat, wonderful nature, in the light of all that she was going through. How Amanda could also make you still smile. And Grace inhabited that. And so we were there on set in Italy. We were rolling, and we just kind of looked at each other and went, I think this is going to work.
Yeah, it did. So KJ, what was like your biggest challenge?
On the buffet of challenges, I think just the enormity of the responsibility of telling this as dimensionally as possible, taking the microscope off of Amanda Knox's behavior and widening the lens onto just the landscape and the ecosystem that allowed for the great injustice to happen. I think the responsibility of that was the hardest thing, and it was the most rewarding thing.
That's great. This is the time, just little time that I have with you both, but thank you so much, and I hope everybody liked the series like I did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
If you like to support or continue to support Jana on Camera, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share the videos.